It's only after a few thousand miles.
Hey guys, I'm Nate. Welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to talk about oil catch cans and why I personally will never not have an oil catch can on a Mopar. My experience. Alright, so what does an oil catch can do? How does it work? So basically what it's supposed to do is supposed to keep oil out of your intake system. So I'm sure maybe one of you guys is way more scientific on this can chime in here in the comments. But essentially you have a vacuum system that's set up in your engine, and as part of the intake, as part of pulling air in, sometimes it sucks in oil vapor. And the problem with this, and I think it's more noticeable on forced induction cars, because I remember this was a problem on the Subaru as well, is the issue there is the oil vapor ends up, it's oil. So it ends up gunking up your intake and all of those things. And I can tell you, so from personal experience, there's always some oil in there. So where does that oil come from if there's no oil vapor in the system? Because some of the arguments are, why would you need it? Your car should have just come factory with the oil catch can if it was something that was really needed. My point to that is on all of the challenges that I've had an oil catch can. So I had it on my 392, which is the same as a Scat. And then now I have it on my Hellcat. And I had also an air oil separator. That was an interesting design on my Subaru. And they've all had oil in them. Well, the Subaru one, I never knew that it had oil in it, and I'll get into why that is. But for the other two, they've always had oil. Every time I do an oil change, I open that catch can up, and there's always some oil in there, and I just throw it away. So don't try to reuse that oil, because I think that oil has some vapor condensation in it, so I don't think you want to try and reuse that oil. I don't think it's worth it. It's such a tiny amount anyways. Don't cheap out there. It's one of those things that I feel it helps, right? And so first of all, there's always oil in it. Why would there be oil in it if this was something you didn't really need? Do you really want oil in your intake? I don't think so. It's going to gum everything up, like I said, over time. And I remember my Subaru. So the Subaru, it was I think IAG air oil separator that I installed on that car. It didn't come with it, and the car had just about 90,000 miles when I picked it up. And so I installed this air oil separator on it, and their design was something different. So it was a little bit more of a complex install than on the Mopars. On the Mopars, it's actually really easy to install a catch can. On the Subaru, it ties into this specific one was a design that ties into your coolant system. So I thought this was neat. So basically what it does is it takes the hot coolant, cycles it through the air oil separator, and that gets rid of the condensation, and then it'll take the oil that comes down and put it back into the oil pan. So it's a closed system. You don't have to worry about maintaining it, which was nice, because on the Mopars, you do have to worry about that. So my theory why this doesn't come stock on the Mopars is that catch can will fill up over time. So over time, as you get more oil vapor, it's going to fill up, and then if you don't empty it, you're basically just going to have oil gushing out of this thing and probably going straight into your intake system, which I can imagine is not good at all. So Dodge probably decided, you know what, we don't want to deal with this. Let's just not put a catch can on. It's probably not that big of a deal. So when I did the air oil separator install, so I did the air oil separator install myself on the Subaru, and when I did that, one thing I noticed was, I said, you got to take the intercooler off, you got to take a bunch of stuff off on the Subaru to get access and install this. And when I did that, I noticed inside the intercooler, it was pretty dirty. There was a decent amount of oil. And so I used, I think, gasoline just to clean out the intercooler, and a fair amount of gunk came out. Now, that's a 90,000 mile car. So I guess you would expect there to be something in there, but the fact that there was some oil inside the intercooler further just solidified the fact that, this is probably a good idea to get done. Keep your car gunk free. So on the Mopars, on the previous channel, the 392 and this one, super easy to install. Comes with all the hoses and stuff you need, the kit. I think the one I installed was a JLT air oil separator, but there's a ton of companies that make it. BMC, JLT, even Speed Logics has one. And you guys can even get it color. I just got mine in black. I didn't want to do anything fancy, but you could get it painted to match your car color. So it gives you a little under hood bling. But super easy install. Just one bolt really to fix it. A couple of hoses you have to detach, reattach, and then you're good to go. And yeah, like I said, every time I open it, I mean, look here, I'm gonna open it.
All right, to show you how much oil is in this thing. It's only after a few thousand miles. See, you can see that. There's a decent amount of oil in here. So that's why I get a catch can.
So definitely worth doing, easy install. Just make sure you keep on top of that maintenance. Check it, don't forget not to check it, because you could end up with bigger problems if you don't do that. But just keep that gunk out of your intake, keep that gunk out of your throttle body, and I think, you know, your car's gonna be running pretty good for a while. Anyways, what do you guys think? You guys think the catch can makes sense? You think it's a waste of money? You think Dodge should have included it if it was that big of a deal and you're just gonna, you know, ride without it? Put it down in the comments. Well, check out these next videos. I'll see you there. Thanks. Bye.